Hey, third grade. It's me, Mrs. Wheaton, back here again. All right, so today we are on a lesson, and it's on pages 129 to 133 in your books. Sorry, I'm opening it. It's terrible planning on my part. All right, so today your assignments are, I'm not going to have you do yeah. No. Oh, wait. Yes. So one of the questions in your book will be your Flipgrid response, and that's going to be number 5 from the book. You will also be responsible for answering number 1, number 2, and number 4 in this lesson in your book. I've talked to some people, and so it just sounds like it's hard to do school from home, and I could totally understand that. I get it. And so I want to make it as beneficial but as simple as possible. So we're thinning things out. We're not doing everything just because that's too much, and gives you a break, right? So today we are doing how do plants use flowers or cones to reproduce. More stuff about plant babies. How many lessons can we have on this stuff? Just kidding. But yes, like I said, most important thing. All right. Up here at the top, you'll see your words to know. They are reproduce, right? To have offspring. Pollinate and germinate, right? We use the word germinate in our bean thing. Pollinate, I hope you guys know what that means. If not, you will learn in this lesson. All right, so I'm just going to get started. Also, notice over here, how many bean experiments can there be? Whew, baby. All right, reproduction. Most plants make seeds that grow into new plants. Some plants grow stems or roots that grow into new plants. Some plants can reproduce both ways. I have I feel like more of my plants. I have a lot of succulents, and so a lot of my succulents, like they'll put out like new root stem things, right? So they'll shoot out they call them pups. I call them plant babies because they're little baby plants. So they're all right next to the mama plant and they're connected via the root. I don't know where I'm at anymore. For example, maple trees produce seeds. These seeds can grow into new maple trees. Each seed carries information from the parent plant. The seed uses information from the food stored from the parent plant in the seed to grow into a new plant. The new plant will be like its parent. After seeds are produced, they may scatter or move away from the parent plant. This gives the plant more room to grow, right? Similar to why these guys have the parachute, which is actually number 2. So each seed in the picture below has a tiny parachute. Why do you think these parachutes help the seeds scatter? I know every single one of you has blown on a dandelion in your life, right? And when you blow it, where do they go? Everywhere. Are they landing right at the base of the plant that they came from? No. Because if they did that, would they have the room and nutrients and water to be able to grow if they're growing like right next to the plant that they just came from? That was one of your questions. And then number 1 still. Predict what might happen if seeds don't scatter. So let's say dandelions, sorry, there's a bird that keeps knocking on my window. He's rude. Let's say the dandelion seeds didn't fly away and they just fell off of it when it was all done. What would happen? Like I said, they would drop right there, right next to the parent plant. Would they have the resources to continue to grow? So and then let's say no, they wouldn't have enough resources to grow. And if that's the case, what then is going to happen? I mean, in the bigger picture, maybe even to dandelions as a whole. Are they even going to be able to continue to grow? Probably a little bit, but would they be as prolific as they are? Definitely not, right? All right, parts of a flower. Flowering plants grow flowers that make seeds. Flowers have different
One part makes pollen, another part, the petals, attracts the bees and other animals to the flower.
Such as butterfly, hummingbirds, other birds.
Animals or wind can pollinate or carry pollen to another flower. Pollination happens when an animal or wind move pollen to the part of the flower that makes seeds. After pollination, seeds form near the center of the flower. Another part, fruit, often grows around the seed to protect it. A peach is an example of a fruit.
Say with apples, avocado, lemons, cucumbers, squash, pumpkins, all of those things. A lot of times we think of some of those as like vegetables, but that's just in the culinary sense. But in the scientific sense, if it's got a seed inside of it, it's a fruit.
Right.
Number 4.
We're doing number 4. What is the function of one part of a flower?
So, I like the petals, right? The petals, they're my favorite because not only are they pretty to me, but they are also the ones that attract all those great pollinators to my garden. And then if I have like fruits or vegetables growing, right? Fruit. If I have fruit growing, right, the bees will come, or the hummingbirds or the butterflies, they'll come and they'll sip up the nectar and they'll dust that pollen around so that they can pollinate that flower and therefore make me delicious food. Right? If you wanted to talk about a different part of the flower, go for it. But I like the petals. Right? So that's one of your questions too. You guys, it's another bean. How many of you never want to see another bean in your life? Just me? No. I don't know. I was just like really disappointed that mine was like kind of a flop. It wasn't the best experiment I've ever done.
Anyway, how seeds grow. Seeds have different shapes, sizes, and colors. All seeds have the same parts. Every seed has material inside it that can grow into a new plant. The seed is covered by a seed coat. The seed coat protects this material. Many seeds have one seed leaf or 2 seed leaves. As the tiny plant grows, it uses food from the seed. Seeds need air, the right amount of water, and the right temperature to germinate or to begin to grow. With the right conditions, the young plant or seedling germinates. The seedling uses food stored in the seed to grow. As the seedling grows, it grows out of the soil. Leaves grow from the stem, and the leaves use the sunlight to make sugar. The plant uses sugar for food. The seedling can grow into an adult plant that has flowers. The flowers are pollinated, and new seeds are formed. If these seeds germinate, they can grow into new plants, and the cycle begins again. And number 5, this is your last question, but not our last page. It says, look at the illustration. Why do you think the seed coat, this hard outer part, remember our beans? Why is that part going to be important? You can think about it as like what would happen to the rest of it if that seed coat wasn't there, right? What would happen? How cones help plants. Cones are made by conifer. Oh, if I've been doing this the whole time, I have not been. Sorry, guys. Oh, work is floppy. Cones are made by conifer plants. Conifer plants grow cones instead of flowers to make seeds. Conifers make 2 types of cones. One cone is a small pollen cone. The other cone is a large seed cone. The wind blows pollen from the small pollen cones to the large seed cones. When the pollen sticks to the large seed cones, it can begin to grow inside. A seed grows under each scale of the seed cone. When the seeds are fully developed, they float to the ground. If conditions are right, each seed can grow into a new plant. That's a lot of seeds coming from one tree, which makes me think that not all of them successfully make it to be pollinated and falling to the ground, right? So that's what we got. The rest of the questions are just kind of meh. Do the math. It's actually kind of fun. I know that I say that every time. So again, like we're thinning things out. You don't have to do extra stuff, but this one's kind of neat. I'm actually doing this right now. I planted some vegetables in my yard,
and I'm trying to figure out when they're going to start growing. And I made a it's not a mistake, but I went against the recommendation of planting tomatoes from seed outside, right? So they need pretty warm conditions to start out with. Um, but that being said, because I've started them outside, I won't have any tomatoes until like August. Whereas if I picked up a plant from Home Depot today, I mean, I wouldn't go do it because that's unnecessary, non-essential shopping. But Mr. Wheaton works there, so I could just say, hey, like, grab me a tomato plant, right? And there's tomato plants, and those ones that they sell there are actually already like 1 or 2 months old. So I would be getting tomatoes much sooner if I had done that. And so anyway, like I said, it's really interesting to see how long it takes for it not only to sprout, right? So you got to wait a couple of days for them to sprout. And then after that, you still need to wait for them to like even produce a flower to get so many inches tall in order to like make sure they're going to survive and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun to think about, like, this is like a real world science and math. All right. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, wait. We talked about everything. Your Flipgrid response, right? And yeah. Okay. I think we did, right? Oh, okay. Number 5. What did I say? Number 5? Okay. Oh, yes. There was one more thing I wanted. Okay. So number 5. That's what your Flipgrid response is. Oh, sorry. Don't answer it in your book. Tell me in your Flipgrid response so that I know that you actually watch these things. Sorry. I'm reading my notes and they're messy. And then Go Green. This one's kind of cool. It says, energy and resources are needed to grow food. The food must be moved from the farm to the store, and this also uses energy. Think of ways that you can avoid wasting food. Make a list. So give me one way, right? One way that you could do that. Perhaps you're growing food in your garden. Perhaps you are, right? You're getting your eggs from Mrs. K, right? So then they're not passing through as many different hands as the ones at the grocery store are. Maybe you have a neighbor who you share stuff that you've gotten with. All kinds of ways that you could do it. All right. Now we're done. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.